March 13, 2016, and we want to know, is a city worth defending when even Balto the dog goes on a murder spree in its streets?
Did Avicii bite off more than he could chew when he signed up for the Fairy Realms Bonnaroo?
All this and more is coming up now. It's DCU Week 41 here at DCR.
We rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR. I am your host, Sean Lamont. Slightly plague-born, but I am joined, as always, by the man whose name is whispered in the halls of Punhala, Mr. Brian Glein. Hello, sir.
Oh man, daylight saving time. More like daylight takings crime.
That's okay. Let's restart over again.
Yeah.
It's early as sin.
Yes.
We
except it's not according to the clock.
It's not. The clock is a liar. It is AM. Well in the AM for us to be recording. So why don't you tell the lovely folks what we're going to try to do today?
What we're going to try to do today is we are going to spoil the things.
What is that?
I don't know.
What is that? Is that a voice of some sort?
I don't know if I was trying to do like Leslie Knope drunk or something, but I couldn't quite handle it.
No. All right, just do the spoiler warning.
We are going to be spoiling all of the books that came out this week in the DCU line at DC Comics.
Do you need to pause and then we play some music if you're going to do your NPR voice?
We're going to be spoiling all the character beats. Story points. And maybe character motivations.
I got nothing else. I used all my notes in the last one.
What about the notes you didn't use?
They're gone. We've lost them. We've lost them. But we are going to be covering all the books that came out from DC Comics in their DCU line. So if you have not read them, do not listen ahead because you will be spoiled. You have been forewarned. So without any further ado, we're going to take a quick pace today because A, it's early, B, I'm sick, and actually it was a pretty easy week as far as storylines. So let us waddle into this week's books.
All right, I'm starting off with Action Comics number 50.
Yeah, more savagery.
The big 5-0. All right, so we start off with a nice recap of the past year and how Superman losing his powers and all of the new villains he fought were all part of a master scheme by Vandal Savage to discredit Superman and take over the world by finally pulling the meteor that gave him powers to Earth to make him the most powerful. Also, the presidential advisor guy from Superman and Wonder Woman was apparently supposed to be the New 52 Angle Man, which I just appreciate because it's such an obscure character.
That's a bizarre side
I know, right? Well, he started off as literally a protractor-themed villain, and then Will Pfeiffer in his Catwoman run that I'm constantly talking about, he brought him back as a guy who can see all the angles of something.
Oh,
so that kind of
that's actually a lot better.
Yeah, that kind of works with what he was doing as a false presidential advisor.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that, and it was kind of sad that they never mentioned Angle Man that I noticed.
They just, well, what did they do in this one? Did they just go, yeah, this guy was supposed to be Angle Man, but we kind of dropped that story thread, or did they just drop his name and you realized?
Superman's just like, when I was battling Wrath and Hoarder Root and Angle Man, and they show the pictures of the three, I'm like, wait a minute, that was supposed to be Angle Man? I mean, that's cool, but why didn't you use that? And why does Superman know that? Is he giving out names like, that's Vibe's job, my friend?
That's Vibe's job.
Sort of like how there's those two Vandal Savage kids that look suspiciously like the Power Twins.
Yeah.
Or the Wonder Twins.
Yeah. I still haven't figured out what their role is in all this.
They've got the triangles, they've got the pointy ears, and they've got the purple outfits, but they're not.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're just twins.
Twins who have to hold hands Fenris style. All right, so Superman is storming the castle of the ridiculous Stormwatch carrier Justice League satellite Fortress of Solitude puzzle ship. He is hopped up on Metallo's kryptonite heart that is giving him one last burst of superpowers as it kills him. All of his supporting cast, from his human pals on the ground level to his Superman title-only super pals, are dealing with Savage's relatives. You know, the Korean wrestle gods and Baka, who you've never seen anywhere else, and he probably won't, but they're there.
I'm still happy to see him. That underground arc was so good that I'm always happy to see Baka around.
Yeah, Baka's the best. He busts in, Vandal and his remaining kids flee for an escape shuttle, and everyone's able to get the Justice League and Lana out of his power-draining prison that he was using to shoot off space lasers and stuff.
Sure.
So once everyone's safe, Superman goes off to take out Savage and his kids, and Vandal monologues about how he's trapped all of his kids in this escape ship so he can shove them at the meteor first just to make sure his powers won't overload and kill him. Because he's going for that Father of the Year nominee. Watch out, Earth 2 Dick Grayson.
Here it comes. He and the orphan can
the orphan
can run it out this year.
Duke it out. Much heavier hitters, the prestige level's going up this year.
I mean, Dick Grayson was just naive and bad at being a dad. Yeah. These people are actively trying for the Father of the Year award.
So he grabs Superman, shoots him with like a virus/poison cocktail bullet.
Sure.
Shoves him off the escape ship to impale him on the spikes of the Fortress of Solitude below. But that one last shot erased the last layer of like bad power draining cells from him. And just as he's about to get spiked, the fortress recognizes him, opens up, heals him, repairs his Kryptonian armor, and Superman's back.
Hey!
Just in time for a movie if there were one coming out. It's not telling me that it's coming out, but you know,
I'm pretty sure that
the top bar of every single comic is implying something might be happening soon. I'm not sure.
Something where he's gonna fight someone or something,
maybe,
or go to a boxing match.
He's gonna V someone apparently.
How do you V someone?
I don't know. We've done some dubious things to come into the comics recap, so maybe we can V in the upcoming weeks.
Fair enough. What do you think of this as the right culmination to the end of the Savage arc? I mean, I think there's only an issue or so left of the arc, an issue or two, and do you think they?
It's certainly built, and we're getting to see like everyone fighting in like one big gigantic super event.
It kind of feels like a big send off to everything of the New 52 to date, where they're just like, "Hey, everybody,
we tried, we tried,
we gave it our best, and here's what we got.
But here's our escape hatch. Oh well, you all knew it was coming." Yeah, but it's because like all of a sudden it's just like, oh, darkest moment then? Happy splash pages! And everything's good, and Superman's smiling, and I can't get mad at Superman smiling.
Even if it's a creepy smile? He looked way too happy in that one. He was just like, yeah, I'm happy now.
It's a little creepy, but I'm just happy to see Superman smiling since I have a feeling when he's V'ing, he's not going to be doing a lot of smiling.
Probably not a lot of dour.
Gotta be a lot browner, too.
Yeah, probably.
So, Superman goes to battle the Super Savage, but the Comet empowered his kids as well, so he's going to have to fight them first in a Superman 50.
Okay.
What I'm assuming might be the last part of the story, since, you know, everyone loves the Deca system.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to probably do the... Yeah, I guess 50 would probably be the end of it, because they have
maybe there'll be like an issue or two of, you know, hey.
Well, they have the lead into Rebirth stuff coming up, so I'm assuming that's going to be like 2 issues or so.
Oh yeah, I did see some promotional art from that, so I can see that. Yeah.
So it would probably wrap up in Superman 50 and then start cleaning up from there.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. I know it's got mixed reviews as far as people thinking the whole the Superman lost his powers, but still wins every fight by physically punching things for 10 issues in every book.
I could see that.
It was kind of like, okay, what's the point in him losing his powers if he's still just going to punch everyone down?
Yeah, he was constantly coming up with, he was constantly getting like different kinds of superpowers as well.
Yes.
Which thematically, I can kind of see how that became a thing. You want Superman to be Superman.
It's hard.
I can see that being a thing.
It's hard to sell a Superman book without Superman in it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I kind of understand. It's like, well, look at Superman being weird and different. Don't you want the classic Superman back? And I kind of see that point of it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I just thought as its own story, don't take it as this earth-shattering, Superman has lost his powers, nothing will ever be the same again. Just, here's a story about Superman and his powers got jacked up and he's trying to make his way through. I thought it was good. I liked a lot of the villains were good. Angleman, by far my favorite.
Yes.
Didn't know he was there. But no, a lot of the Hoarder Root was pretty cool as far as a villain.
Jimmy got killed by a virus axe.
Yeah, well, yes, a computer virus, poison axe. I mean, why didn't they use that against Vandal Savage if they were going to use the magic cocktail bullet?
Well, he can still steal it from Salvax. Salvax is still there.
Fair enough. So, again, I just like the storytelling. Obviously the underground Korean deity wrestling league is by far stands out to me. So, why don't you move on? You got another Superman book here. Batman, Superman. I'm sorry. Batman, Superman.
I wrote it backwards. Uh-oh. Shame on me. Number 30. So, Superman and Batman were fighting some evil lizard people giants from space. Batman was dealing with Lobo, who got hired to kill him, because it was cheaper just to kill Batman and not Superman. And Superman got duped into saving a fake old man Kryptonian who was powering a sun that was powering
the sun was powering him, and they were draining
and then they were draining the power of him to run all the space lizard technology.
Yeah, they're space lizards.
They're super clean energy that was totally not evil.
No, it was perfectly fine. Run an empire off of one old dude tied to with a USB cable plugged into his butt. I mean,
So the old man that was speaking Kryptonian is actually a Daxamite named C-Bar that just vacationed on Krypton when he was younger. After I finished Daxamite high school, I just wanted to backpack across Krypton for a few years, just kind of clear my head before I got back into the workforce of, avoiding lead.
I was going to go back to work at the pencil factory with my dad. Yeah. I got the black lung.
I'm so old they hadn't switched to graphite yet, so Also, just really good water slides on Candor. The one thing you never see in the Bottle City, the good water slides. So C-Bar has got Superman held up in a spaceship somewhere with some kryptonite, chained.
Chain watch.
Batman stole Lobo's spaceship after their battle last issue, and Lobo knows it and is coming for him with just 0 Fs to give. So Batman, he grits his teeth and he realizes the only person he can contact right now with Superman detained is Hal Jordan.
Yes!
The look of utter dismay and disgust on his face when he realizes he's got to call Hal Jordan.
I think it's great that there's that dichotomy between the characters. I know they haven't gotten along in the past and stuff, but the fact that they're just like, oh God, don't tell me I have to call him for help.
Yeah. So the Daxamite realizes he's dying from powering the evil space lizards technology, so he helps Superman escape. They meet back up with Batman, and he tells Superman his brilliant plan to stop the space lizards is to die.
Well, that's not a very good plan in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, Superman, he was like, you're the best planner in the world. Why don't you start best planning better, dude?
You know who they should call? Angle Man. Mm-hmm. He would know the angle to take.
Well, he's dead, so he can't. Way to go, Vandal Savage.
If only Superman had seen the angle not to kill Angle Man.
The one angle he didn't see. So Lobo shows up to fight Batman, suffocates him outside in the cold vacuum of space, chains him to the hood of his car, and takes him back to the space lizards. He drops the dead Batman at the space lizard's feet, and he wakes up. It was the old Superman puts on Batman's costume gambit. Even Superman's like, haven't we done this before? I feel like we've done this a lot.
Was there like a giant beard spilling out from the... They're like, Batman, you look really old all of a sudden.
So he tosses Lobo out into space and transmits the recording of the space lizard monologuing his evil plan to the Lanterns, and they show up to arrest him as all good space cops would. But not after trying to squash Superman like a bug. He's like, oh, I'm so mad at you. And he goes to splat Superman. His hand just goes through Superman. So
Superman kind of goes through his hand unless his hand goes through Superman.
Yeah.
Or Superman goes through his hand.
Yeah, and it's one of the best, it's just one of the coolest Superman scenes I've seen in a good long time. He's just standing there with his arms full. It's like, man, that really hurt, didn't it? I'm not going to try that again, are you? I'm just like, oh, man.
Now, what did we learn?
Yeah, Tom Taylor wrote this one. And apparently, from what you've told me, Tom Taylor does a lot of cool Superman stuff.
Yes, he loves Superman. It's very clear he loves Superman, but he likes to play with the good nature of the Boy Scout nature of Superman and push it to its edges a little bit.
Yeah.
So as you could tell, he loves the humor aspects as well, mixing in just a little bit of humor with the drama storyline he's telling. So I'm glad you got to actually read this one so you could see his style, since I know you weren't reading Injustice or any of the other stuff he's been doing, but you can see where it kind of shines and where a lot of people dig his stuff.
Yeah. So C-Bar goes to die alone on Earth, but they won't let him do it alone. So Superman puts his cape over him, and all three of them watch his last sunset together.
Aww.
It was very sweet.
Aw, that's kind of a sad ending, though.
Very sad, but you know.
That's also what Taylor does.
Yeah, well, I see.
It's the emotional rainbow that he likes to paint on the pages. You laugh, you cry. You go, man, that was pretty badass. You know, all the emotions.
I know, right?
Really good though. I quite like this for a
little
2-issue arc.
Yeah,
I mean they fit a lot of stuff in here for 2 issues, but it wasn't lost in the few amount of pages that they had. You know how a lot of 2-issue arcs you'll get jumps in scenes, so to speak, where it'll just all of a sudden be like, yeah, you guys know a battle happens here, but we're just going to jump ahead to the after battle scene because we only got 20 pages. Sorry, we got to do that. So it's nice to see those little 2-issue arcs can still survive out here.
Yeah, nice to see some compression on occasion.
Yeah, and it worked. It was fun. That's all I asked for. That's all I asked for.
Not quite to the point where it's like one of those ridiculous, like, universe-spanning, like, crisis-level events that they used to put in, like, 8 pages back in the Silver Age, but... No, but, you know, giant lizard aliens. Yeah.
And rolling your eyes and having to call Hal Jordan. I mean, that works for me.
Slow clap.
Well, let's move on to Detective Comics number 50. Do you like crazy people? Because Gotham City loves crazy people. We were dealing with a mass murderer who was going around making masks from the heads of all of these statues around Gotham City, putting them on, and then fully becoming ensconced in the character, i.e. they made a George Washington mask and put it on and then just completely acted all the mannerisms, all of the mission statements of George Washington.
This is just another instance of me getting sad that they're teasing me with false face again, aren't they?
Kind of. We actually talk about them later this week. So,
all right.
But we also have this guy has been going around murdering people, stealing a bone out of their body, and then staging it in some manner that had to do with whatever statue's historical figure he was dressed up as. He's flown people into space by tying balloons to chairs when he had an astronaut mask on. You saw
that episode of Gotham.
Yeah, he's dressed people up like not revolutionary, but Northern soldiers and had them march through the town, their dead bodies after stealing all their bones. He's been doing some crazy, crazy things. He kind of goes all in this time when he steals a mask of Balto the sled dog.
Oh no.
Puts it on and goes full dog mode, running around barking at people and murdering them.
Oh man.
There's a line, DC Comics. There's a line. You do not take Balto the sled dog and make him a mass murderer and get away with it.
The Cleveland Museum of Natural History loaned their Balto. The actual Balto is at our museum.
Yes.
They loaned him out to Gotham, and they should have known something was going to go wrong.
They should have.
I don't care how much the Wayne Foundation pays you.
But he ends up capturing 2 people and taking them back. Well, we find out he's been stealing these bones to do some sort of ritual, I guess. The guy's crazy. Just accept this.
Really?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Batman and Bullock are on the trail, though, tracking down a chemical dealer that the killer's using in his mask. He's using some sort of bonding agent, and they find this one guy that kind of smuggles in this type of stuff. It's a dead end, but Batman is able to triangulate the direction all of the statues are facing to find one point where they all cross over, and he's like, if I were a crazy person, that's where I would be. So he heads on over that way. And they arrive just in time to find the killer now dressed up entirely like St. George. He's like, roar, I'm St. George, and I've collected all the bones to open a portal to hell so that I can slay Satan himself and save the people of Gotham. And Batman's kind of like, you're crazy. You're a little crazy. So he saves the people and busts up the bones so that the ritual is ruined, and this guy that's dressed up as St. George goes all bonkers on him, and they have a medieval sword fight, you know, like you do. Again, this is Jim Bats. Like Jim Gordon Batman, and I just picture him like, I'm having a medieval sword fight in the streets of Gotham City with St. George. Okay. But he ends up getting the upper hand and kicks the guy into the water and then dives in to save him after he's been disarmed. The mask does come off and it's like this deformed guy. His face is all mangled and he was just crazy. Plain and simple, he was just crazy. There's nothing wrong with that. Gotham has its fair share of crazy. Again, when you're putting on Balto masks and running around going, ruff, 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 you're not DMX, man. You're not DMX. You can't just do that. But we do get some backup issues in here as well. There's a backup story that's so well done. So well done. It's reimaginations of some classic Detective Comics covers done by today's artists. And I'm talking like Silver Age, Golden Age covers, with the backstory being Batman trying to convince Superman that his life is more cray-cray than Superman. And it's just like him like, oh yeah, I fight spookums, I fight zombie creatures, my city's been taken over by Swamp Thing. It's this great little like vignette of these old covers redone, some of them completely reimagined, the same theme is in it, but it's completely redone in a modern style.
Like classic poses and stuff, but with the current characters and things like that.
Not even just the current characters, but just like, I mean, some of them are straight line for line redoings, but with the modern iterations of the character. But, some of them they've just like moved them around a little bit, made it a little bit more modern in its storytelling.
Same idea, just different, just modern.
Yeah, just
interpretation. Gotcha,
exactly.
Gotcha.
So, but it's all done with just these narration boxes of Batman trying to explain to Superman that, no way, your life is no more crazy than mine. Mine is insane. And it ends with Superman saying, let me tell you about Bizarro. So it's good. It's a nice little, buddy moment between Batman and Superman as they're just hanging out on the rooftops. And it's a great way for all of these artists to reimagine things that maybe we don't get to see. I know I don't get to see any of these covers or anything. It's, probably cost a fortune to even see these books, let alone own them. So who knows? I think it's great. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was Tomasi again. So yeah, we all know where I stand on that one. So next up.
That's you.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it is. Batman and Robin Eternal. My boys are together. All of my boys are together. The bros are out there and they're going to go take down Mother, who has activated her satellite to mind control.
The boys are back in town, start playing in the background.
It does.
As they watch the
but it's the best thing I ever want, right? There's no way this could get better. Until
I'm guessing there's a way that it can get better.
You add Midnighter.
Yes.
But Mother has activated it, and they have called in everyone. All the signals are being amplified by satellite, or not satellite, but radio antennas in each one of the major cities. So the Robins call in everyone they know to help take down these towers in all the major cities. They call them like Katana, Batwoman, Catwoman, Black Canary, Batgirl, just everyone. Call in everyone! And Midnighter is acting as central ops. He's dimension dooring people in all over the place and just dropping them off where they need to be and working the comms unit. And his
Justice League membership, come on.
Not only that, his sexual conquest from the night before, who wakes up to all of these heroes running around, is just like, what's going on? And he's like, hey, pull up a chair. You can hack that satellite over here. I know you hacked our electric bill last week. And the guy's like, I don't think that's the right thing to do. He's like, no, join me on the slippery slope. It's so much fun. And he's like, fine, whatever. I'm like, yes! Not only is it Midnighter, it's Midnighter and his latest sexual conquest. But they end up bringing in all of these characters all over the place, and they're dropping them off at all these different cities, having them do these things. Meanwhile, Spoiler is stuck keeping guard over Scarecrow because they kind of hauled him in because, remember, the fear toxin works to break the mind control stuff. So while she's just out in front of his cell practicing her stances and everything like that, Scarecrow's doing his whole, you know they don't trust you, that's why they left you behind to guard me. You know that they don't believe in you, they think you're a waste of time. And she's just like, yep, I know, that's why I'm here. I'm the worst, I have no training whatsoever, I'm well aware. Oh wait, whoa, you're trying to get in my head and make me like doubt myself? Yeah, don't worry about it, I already doubt myself. It's a great little moment of giving Stephanie Brown her little spotlight, so to speak, where she's just completely infuriating Scarecrow by playing along with what he says and just like, yeah, I already know that. Yeah, it's fine. And finally, they come in, Tim grabs Scarecrow, hauls him off to a lab and goes, hey, make us some fear toxins so we can take care of this. He goes, why would I help you? Because otherwise Mother's gonna kill you. Okay, good plan, we'll do that. And boom, mission time. Everyone gets dimension doored off to their cities. They're doing their thing. Midnighter's all pissed off at Grayson because he won't allow him to go out and punch children in the face. It's really funny. It was like, what if I want to be a father someday and I still have this pent up rage and I never got to punch children in the face? My bad parenting is on your hands, Grayson. And,
oh my God, Midnighter.
I know. And they end up dumping Grayson off to the Arctic where Mother's base is. He's going solo to rescue, what's their names? Harper Row and Cassandra Cain, and take down Mother and stop them from mind controlling all the kids while everyone else is trying to keep the homicidal children from murdering their parents around the world. It's your big call in everyone moment, the big cavalry moment. And, it was the glue that held it together was Midnighter. It was perfect. He would show up every 3 pages, say something funny, do something humorous, and then it would go back into the mission.
Oh, splendid. That's all we can ask for.
Oh, I mean, really. When I say, hey, I finally got
there's a lot to ask for, to be perfectly frank, but
it's Damien flying around on Goliath, scaring mind-controlled children into corrals. While Midnighter's like, man, I sure would like to punch those children in the face. I love it. Yeah. I really do. So, now you get to continue.
Now I get to continue with more children.
Yes.
Gotham Academy number 16.
You see my flow.
Mm-hmm. It's another month of the Gotham Academy yearbook where they've got smaller indie artists and web cartoonists and stuff doing little Treehouse of Horror style Gotham Academy stories. So we get a story about how one time Maps and Colton snuck out of school at night into the Gotham City Police Department so Colton could distract them by tripping and throwing smoke bombs all over the main office. So Maps could sneak up to the roof, turn on the bat signal so she could finally meet Batman and be his new Robin. So it's like 3 a.m., prime Batman time.
Yep.
Flips on the bat signal and waits and waits and waits, and she eventually falls asleep. And then Batman finally shows up, sees all of her adorable Batman plus Robin Maps, good lord. Basically, she drew herself as Robin, like doing a bunch of like cartoon adventures with Batman, and had fan art there. So he signs the fan art, drops her back off at her bedroom, and she wakes up and she's like, oh man, I missed him. And it's just an adorable little thing.
Yes.
We get another story of Maps being bored on like a lazy Sunday and fabricating a mystery.
Seems like Gotham Academy knows where its bread is buttered.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And she fabricates a mystery from colonial times for the mystery team to solve. Olive captures her making fake time capsules and gets really mad because the story's not good enough. And because they are best friends, they work together to make a fake mystery for the team to solve.
Aww.
And it's adorable. There's also an interstitial where these stories are being read by Damien because he broke into Maps' dorm room to read through their story yearbook, and he gets all indignant about how it's like, my dad wouldn't do that. He wouldn't sign fan art and drop her back up. He would leave her there and make her learn a lesson for getting out of school or something. Dad.
Does he find the picture? And then get even more angry?
Oh, I'm sure. Either that or it just makes him even more confused. Like, why do I keep thinking about Maps? Why am I coming to her room? Tim Drake, why'd you tell me to come here?
You turn right around and head to Seattle right now.
So
Damie, go.
Yeah, so when he gets caught, he starts yelling like, "The school's part of my city, and I gotta protect it. Oh my gosh, I can hear the bat signal. I gotta go!" And he goes jumping out of the room, and I think it's hilarious.
Do not ship them. I don't ask for much. I certainly didn't ask for Midnighter in my Batman and Robin Eternal, but you gave it to me. I'm just asking, do not ship Maps and Damien.
I just got to enjoy the brief period of time before Maps becomes the kitty pride of the DC universe.
Yes,
there's only another year or so of that before that happens. So it's going to go full Felicity, and we're just going to be like, all right, fine. I get it.
I see where you're coming from. But still good. Still good as far as I know. They're getting a crossover here soon.
They're getting a crossover with Lumberjanes, which is the most know your audience. It's probably going to increase the readership for Gotham Academy.
I would hope so. I know we even said last month that they're wooing a lot of the web creators and a lot of the underground creators and saying, hey, we have a platform for you guys to write for us and we have fun characters. So what do you say? And now I think it's coming to fruition.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, given how unbelievably devoted the Lumberjanes community is, we can get some of them on Gotham Academy side. I think they'll be a little bit healthier for it.
Yeah. I just think it's great that they're exploring that avenue and not letting it lay fallow and saying, oh, we're better than all that group over there and we're doing our own thing.
You don't really see those like big weird crossovers that much anymore.
No. Well, I mean, you get like TMNT Batman going on right now.
I try to pretend it doesn't out. I know a lot of people who are very, very excited for it because anytime you see the Ninja Turtles in anything, oh my gosh, the Turtles and like
except my fruit pies. Because they make my fruit pies look disgusting.
Yes, I would imagine.
I do not want ooze fruit pies.
Oh, did they bring back? Oh, they bring back the ooze fruit pies.
I don't think so. Okay. I hope not. But no, it's great. I think it's awesome that they're exploring that.
Also, full disclosure: while people I know are losing their crap over Ninja Turtles showing up in their comics, I'm losing my crap about Space Ghost and Johnny Quest coming back. So
touche.
To each their own.
Touche. Which I am sure there are even more people like. Really?
Why are you? What? Weirdo.
Johnny Quest. Really? So last up for this half, Catwoman. That was a pretty good one, right?
It was.
Yeah, I thought
Not
it was
your
too.
best.
Not my best, but still pretty high up
pretty
there.
Good.
Hired by Mr. Blonde to steal a priceless diamond from Penguin, Catwoman finds herself in jail after discovering the diamond actually contained all of Penguin's blackmail files. Whoopsie! So, bound and determined to retrieve it, Penguin hires the discreet services of some of his henchmen to break into the prison and rough her up a bit, just so they can find out where these files are at. And who would you hire for this stealthy, below the radar mission, Brian?
I always want to say Flamingo.
No, that would work as well.
I'm guessing it's probably like, I don't know, Killer Croc and some man bats.
No, that would probably be even more. But Victor Zsasz, Firefly, and Clayface.
Oh yeah, perfect.
And they go dress up like guards and sneak in and rough her up and everything. And they're like, okay, whatever. And all it is Firefly running around trying to find something to make a flamethrower out of while they pin her down and try to find out where this information is.
You brought me here to make fires, and you put me in the one place where I can't start fire.
That's pretty good. Not too bad. They ticked me off this week, though.
Oh, I know.
You don't leave a cliffhanger like that. And
no,
then just
you do not.
Nope, we'll talk about it later. Stupid Legends of Tomorrow. We'll actually talk about that elsewhere this week.
We'll be talking about that later.
Yes, so we are going to be guesting on another show. Anyway, Catwoman. They come in and say, where's it at? And she fights them off and fights pretty valiantly, but eventually it is 3 super-powered villains attacking her. Well, Zsasz and Firefly and Clayface, but she gets some help from an unexpected group of allies when Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy show up and go, hey, girlfriend, how you doing? We heard you got busted and got brought in here, so we decided we'd come in and break you out. Pew pew. Actually, we were hired by Mr. Blonde to break you up, but we would have done it anyway. So nice to see you again. Catch you out on the streets of Gotham. Sirens forever. Woo! And then they go run.
And Riddler just stands off in the corner, sad that they didn't include him. Head down. Sad Charlie Brown music playing.
Someday they'll remember me. But she ends up returning home to Alice Tesla, who is holding on to it, aka Steampunk Alice, as we call her. And they start going through the files to try to figure out who Mr. Blonde is. And as soon as they open up the files and look at who they have information on, Catwoman knows exactly who Mr. Blonde is and calls him to set up a meet and meets Mr. Blonde, aka Lex Luthor, in a nearby bar. And as they're sitting there chatting, she goes, okay, well, I got this blackmail drive. You hired me to steal it for $1 million. So, how are we going to do this? And he puts her on the phone with Alice, who is being held captive by Lex's grunts, and says, well, I won't murder your friend and I'll clear your name. So that'll cost about $1 million. So you just hand me the drive and we'll call it squaresies and I'll clear your name from jail and prison and stuff like that. She goes, grr, and hands him the drive. But it ends with Lex returning to his office and plugging in the thumb drive that had a virus that Steampunk Alice put on it that changes all of the wallpapers across LexCorp into the kitty hang in there background. And Lex Luthor's just like, well played. Even he gets a chuckle out of it, where he's just like, okay, you got me on that one. And the virus also steals the $1 million that they were owed and puts it in her account, and the two of them head off to Aruba for Mai Tais and relaxation for a couple weeks.
Alice Tesla going in public. This goes against all my previous
Not
Alice
even
Tesla
public.
knowledge.
She's laying on the beach in a bikini, and it's
What?
just like,
How many gears are on the bikini? Does she immediately?
There's no gears on
and
it.
does she doesn't immediately flash fry into a lobster? Oh my goodness! I don't know about this version of Alice Tesla.
I don't think it works.
What vengeance has Convergence wrought on poor Alice Tesla?
I still think, you know what? For a throwaway character working as her tech guru, her Felicity, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's a neat little character.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little side thing. Nowhere near as slapstick funny as it was before, but it's still very weird to see her even back in the pages whatsoever. But we also get backup stories in this one as well. I was surprised at this. Yeah.
Is this for all stuff that's in 50?
Yeah, it's the expanded pages of 50. A backup of the history of the Black Mask itself, like the Black Mask War, as it passed from Native American, like who are the Native Americans that used to live in Gotham? The Miyaguchis,
You're thinking of Maps' last name,
Yes, I know. Well, there's a specific
I was unaware
Native
of this,
American clan that it was in the whole Batman Morrison stuff when he went back in time and everything.
Oh God, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a specific.
That's a lot of information to keep parsed away in your head.
There's a specific Native American clan that their chief wore the mask as a war mask, and it made him more powerful, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it passes to an ancestor of the Elliot family in like the 1700s. Who seduces a woman from the Kane family, and then she gets burned at the stake for being a witch for seducing him, and the mask is lost again, and then it shows up again in 1800s, early 1900s industrial era gang warfare in Gotham City when the False Face Society, their leader takes it and runs around, and they do all the false face stuff that false face people do. Mm-hmm. Okay. I assume you like them, but they've at least been established now.
I'm just mad that because they've used him, he can't show up as a teacher at Gotham Academy.
Yeah, I know. But then it ends up in present day in the Museum of Crime that Alice Tesla runs. And now Catwoman wants to steal it. I don't think Alice Tesla actually runs it. Didn't they break into it at some point?
The Murder Museum
Yes,
was going to be
was
going to be their base of operations before everything got all.
Gotcha. Well, this is a different one. This is the Museum of Crime in Gotham City. Probably across the street.
Right from the Church of Crime.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you could probably get like one of those 2-for passes that, $20 and you can go visit both the Murder Museum and the Museum of Crime.
You get the season pass at the Murder Museum.
Bring the whole family. And there's a second backup as well of Catwoman being hired to test the security system of the Watchtower, and it's done all silent Ocean's 11 style of her outwitting all of the security systems, and then finally making it to the end where Tim's like, why did we hire her? She's so lame. And then everyone's like, you have a lot of room to talk, Tim. No, that's not what they said, because we're not dogpiling on Tim anyway. They're like, she's very good at breaking into things. And as he's complaining, she walks away and he goes, hey, has anyone seen my grapple gun? I must have misplaced it. She's like, Tim Drake. So it's a nice little ending little vignette thing.
LOL, Tim Drake.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, no, Catwoman, you can't do it either. I have to actually say what you do, but we're not allowed to dogpile on Tim. We're trying to be nice. We're hopeful for rebirth.
I already broke that.
I know. We're hopeful for rebirth that, we're going to build up. We're going to stop beating him up. And hopefully at that point, he'll be rejuvenated, maybe reborn into a better character than he's been portrayed in the last 4 years. But that's it. That's all we have for this half. Brian, what do you have coming up for the second half?
I've got Starfire and Constantine the Hellblazer.
That's all you got?
Pretty sure.
Sure you don't got one more there?
Pretty sure.
You sure you don't want to just do one more there?
No, I'm pretty sure that's all I got.
Okay, well, we got Green Lantern Corps, I'm on the edge of Oblivion. And new Suicide Squad, Sealy Squad. Just throwing that out there, Sealy Squad. Red Hood Arsenal, and someone's going to show up and do Telos again. The last issue of Telos.
Really?
The last issue. Is it 6? Isn't this Telos?
Yeah,
this is the last issue of Telos. So we all know who that's going to be, and looking forward to it. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go through those books.
And I have returned.
Yes, I knew it.
It is I, Telos.
Hey, Telos.
I have sent Brian off to Earth 31 so he could hang out with pirates and you won't be weirded out by the two of us being next to each other.
Wait, he got to hang out with the Leatherwing pirate people?
Perhaps.
God
I don't know.
it.
I'm not watching him right now. I'm sure he's perfectly fine.
All right, we're doing something a little different this time, though, Telos. Because this time I have your book in front of me, and I'm going to call you out on your shenanigans.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You will.
So, Jonathan, as you may recall, last month I fought off like 10 different alien armies at once, but then Parallax showed up and ripped the Rosetta Stone of Time out of my chest.
Yes.
It was a thing I had there all along.
Yeah, we didn't know. We did not know. And seems he just likes to make it hover in front of him a lot.
So luckily, I recover very quickly from gaping chest wounds, just like Catwoman whenever she fights Hush. And Parallax lets me know about how he keeps rebuilding Coast City and trying to stop Mongol and Cyborg Superman from destroying it again so he can impress Carol Ferris. But he can't do it alone. He knows there's only one person that can help him rewrite time and help him get jiggy with his body prisoner's girlfriend.
Okay.
Only one person who could be so handsome and strong and brave enough to help him replace Hal Jordan completely.
Wait.
Only one man can be Arak, son of thunder. That's right, Sean. It's me, Telos.
I don't think that's exactly what he's saying here.
So Parallax beats up Cyborg Superman, and I wipe the floor with Mongol so efficiently it doesn't even need to be shown on panel. Coast City starts to throw a parade for Parallax, and he goes down to start his promposal to Carol Ferris, but she turns him down ice cold. Why would I want a zero like Parallax when I could have a hero like Telos?
No!
Now, I let her down easy because even though I can't remember my wife, I'm married.
Well, that's very nice of you. Mm-hmm. I do see that the people in the streets are yelling that Telos showed us that you are unworthy, Parallax. So
So once they see how uncool Parallax is because he can't get a date, the rest of Coast City starts throwing tomatoes and other anachronistic theater signs of disapproval at him, and I laugh and laugh and laugh. You can't rule over a city you created in your mind, Parallax. And I uppercut him with my Baraka blade so hard that he sees the curvature of the earth, and when he lands, he hits so hard, the force causes the entirety of the fake city to explode in a fiery mushroom cloud of devastation.
Well, that seems very overdone there. Don't you think you could have toned it down a little bit?
No, I cannot. He gets so mad that he takes the Rosetta Stone of Time and goes home to kill the real Hal Jordan. I would chase after him and punch him again, but he got a good, 5 or 6 second head start of me, so I just let him go.
Well, he's gonna go murder people. I thought you were hero to the cosmos here.
Rest assured that I showed Parallax that you can't just harmlessly try to impress an imaginary girlfriend in a fake made-up city, and now everyone knows how much cooler I am than him inside of his head.
Wait, so the end goal of this entire series was you impressed a bunch of people that aren't real?
Yes!
So what's the difference in you just making up the story in your head?
I've saved the universe inside of Parallax's head, and now he may or may not be going to kill actual people.
But
while I hang out on this planet that I'm totally here of my own volition, not because he stole the source of my power.
Okay. Pause. You've been telling a story for 6 issues now that has been fairly stretching the truth here as far as your
I don't believe
actual...
so. It's been entirely accurate.
So you've been telling a fictional story in your own head about the time that you saved a bunch of fictional people inside the head of Parallax.
No, only Parallax does weird things like that.
And it ends with you.
He's a total loser.
It ends with you crying on an asteroid sitting out in space.
No, I'm tears of happiness because of the lesson I taught Parallax.
That's not how it happened. I'm looking at it right now. You're like, no, damn you, Parallax.
This story is going to continue. Verily, I will see everybody next month. Same Telos time, same Telos channel. Telos away!
But it says the end. It says the end.
Hey, Sean.
I think we're free.
I'm back.
I think we're free.
I'm back.
We're free!
You're free. I just got back from a pirate planet, and I've got a really bad case of scurvy. Do you have any Sunny D?
I do, but I
Okay.
think we're free of
I was worried
Telos.
you just have purple stuff.
No, I think Telos is gone.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
His mini's over. He won't keep interrupting our show.
That was a mini?
Yeah,
Okay.
6 issue. So
All right.
it's done. It ended with Telos crying. So I mean,
All right. Well, then.
he's still a really untrustworthy narrator. I can tell you that much.
Man, unreliable narrators. He saw Robert Downey Jr. do it once, and he's like, oh.
I just don't trust the guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for Telos. Did you actually read it?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
What'd you think of it?
It was a story featuring Telos.
Aw, why you gotta be so mean?
I'm sorry.
Trust me, I'm done with Telos hijacking our show all the time. Get out of here! Building domes everywhere. Stupid piece of crap. Actually, I laughed because I was watching Supergirl.
Yeah.
The TV show, and when a senator was saying, we gotta keep aliens out, I don't care if we have to build domes all over the planet to keep them out. I was like, no! Telos is on TV! So next up, let's keep it space. I got Green Lanterns of my own on the edge of Oblivion. They're trapped in the precursor universe, the universe that came before the one we live in now, because that's how universes work. And Guy Gardner is uber pissed at the death of Aricia and Badge after their efforts.
Aww.
I know. After their efforts to save the last city of this precursor universe. And Guy's kind of like, it's supposed to die. Why are we sacrificing ourselves to save it when it is quite literally destined to die? And Kilowog still won't give it up. He still wants to protect everyone. So Guy punched him in the face, and now Kilowog's punching him in the face, and mean. There's no time for that, though, because they need all lanterns, every single lantern, to fly off into space and try to find a tear in the universe. We gotta find a tear in space so that we can slip through it back to our universe. So everyone fly out for 3 days, look, and then come back in 3 days no matter what you found, and we'll figure it out from there. We'll keep Mogo shining bright so you can find your way back. Guy, though, decides to stick around. He's ticked off because some underground element on this last city was sabotaging their efforts to save them, and that's kind of what led to the death of Aricia and Badge, and he's going to go get vengeance. So he gets some of the other lanterns, like Kilowog says he wants to come along, 3-6, Simon Baz even, and they're going to go beat up Marniel, the lady that's in charge of this underground death cult. And they show up and they have a showdown because they're not very stealthy. They use their rings to make giant drills to just drill down into their base. And when they get there, everyone's just looking up with rifles. And they're like, how did they know we were coming? Well, you were pretty loud. You set up a construction site above them and drilled down in. And they went, oh yeah, that's probably how they knew we were coming. And they end up fighting off all of the troops and facing down Marniel herself, who attacks them with spookum ghost monsters that their rings can't affect, and she takes them all down easily and takes one of their rings to put it on, and they're like, it'll never work for you, you fool. And it actually, she overwrites the code in it, and it goes, welcome Marniel to the Error Corps. And she has a Green Lantern outfit now and is a member of the Error Corps, the color Error. Everyone knows the color Error. It's interesting. I quite like that they're giving everyone. Simon Baz got multiple speaking lines. I was
really,
like,
man.
Hey, way to go, guys! You remembered him. A lot of the Kilowog stuff was really good. The Kilowog Guy Gardner stuff. I'm always a fan of Guy ever since Red Lanterns. So whenever he gets to sit in the limelight, I'm always happy. So it works for me. It's a nice little recovery from where it was before, and they're trying to bring the Green Lantern Corps back into the spotlight. So
By killing all of our favorite side characters.
well, yes, there is that, but they're getting there, a little bit at a time. You got something spacey though.
I got Starfire.
Oh, I
number 10.
thought you had Kevin. Yeah, spacey.
Oh, yes. By the way, have you noticed that while Ben Affleck is starring as Batman, Jennifer Garner is starring in a movie where Kevin Spacey turns into a cat?
Yes. I don't
Sad
know
career divergence there.
I don't know who it's more sad for though. Kevin Spacey, I think, is really getting the short end of that stick.
What about that poor cat? All right, so Starfire number 10. So Starfire and Stella went on vacation with Atlee Terra to Strata, one of the many underground cities in the DC universe. Naturally, they arrive just as King Nyarlathotep and his army of cheetah monsters and mantis robots show up to destroy and take over the city.
As they do.
Starfire keeps losing her powers and her clothes, and recovering during the attack due to Strata's bizarre underground sun. After she finally gets her powers and clothes back, she joins the battle and is able to turn the tides for a Strata victory. She then loses her powers again. Stella takes part in some kind of funeral...
Stella!
Yep. You have no idea how hard it is for me to not do that every month with Starfire. So she takes part in some kind of funeral ritual that puts the souls of the dead into the underground sun. And Starfire wakes back up, and it's time for Strata's big annual party, which I imagine is just going to turn into a Matrix rave, but who knows. Also, we don't know why, and we still don't know why Atlee looks like a normal, pretty lady when everyone else in her city are weird, globe-eyed glob people.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out myself.
It's one of the things that I was like, I like this character. This does not make any sense. I'm hoping for an...
Do you think she was like an adopted daughter of the...
I don't know, because they've also like given her weird powers to be one of the protectors of the city, so I'm not...
Well, maybe because she was bathed in the radiation of their underground sun or so.
I don't know.
There's plenty of ways.
There's plenty of reasons. I'm just like an explanation. Now that she's finally come back, we've only got like a couple more issues. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So.
But most importantly, there is an interstitial in the middle where Starfire's almost boyfriend Sal is trying to take care of Silky, and all Silky wants to do is use his powers to lower him and his Coast Guard partner Raven's inhibitions so they start making out. Silky isn't just a ladies' man, he's a hell of a wingman or wing bug or whatever. Silky is the most interesting space caterpillar in the world.
Interesting. So he's kind of like a living alcohol? He just lowers the inhibitions of people around him?
The one guy's just like, I don't like having my mind controlled. It's like, and Raven's just like, it was more like I was completely in control of myself and I just didn't care what I did. And it's like, oh,
weird.
Awkward. So they just like, as like Silky then it just like floats away. They just like have the most silent, awkward, like, put back to shore.
Well, that's an interesting turn.
Yeah, considering how openly she's just been like, hey, maybe we should go out sometime when you're like finally realize that this crazy naked space lady's not going to make out with you anymore.
Well, I guess it worked out for her.
For her, yeah.
And Silky got to watch some sweet Coast Guard on Coast Guard action. That very underserved market. He has very particular tastes that he needs to fill. Just throw that out there. Silky is he's a little out there in his preferences.
Silky knows what he likes. There's nothing wrong with that.
So moving on. Let's go to Earth 2. Let's go to Earth 2 Society, because the ex-Telos, like the planet that was Telos that became Earth 2.
Don't say his name again.
Well, I think we're fine, man. We're fine. It's barren of natural resources. It has nothing of worth on it. So when Telos was going, yeah, I'll give you guys this planet. You can start all over. He was kind of being a troll because he gave them a dead planet that has no way of sustaining life upon it whatsoever. And after utilizing what was left on their life raft ships of power, there's nothing really left to power any of these cities, and it has led to squabbles between the city-states that have sprung up around each one of the crashed life rafts. And even more so has caused the people of the planet to see the Wonders as basically playing chess with their lives, because each one of the Wonders basically runs one of the city-states, and they're all fighting with each other, trying to find natural resources that don't exist whatsoever. On top of that, Kyle Nimbus, a.k.a. Mist.
Huh.
He was a Starman villain, I guess.
I guess it must have been one of the older versions. I know the female Mist from the Jack Knight Starfire.
There's a Mist and Mist 2.
Okay.
Mist 2 is the one you're thinking of, but this is like the old school Starman.
But not an old man rebooted. All right.
Correct. He's made a fortune selling dirty energy using the toxic waste from the engines of the spaceships. And Dick Bats, Wildcat, and Red Arrow decide they're going to go shut him down. He's polluting our planet that's absolutely worthless. Unfortunately, Nimbus has hired Wonder for Hire, our man, to act as his bodyguard, who keeps showing up to fight Dick Bats, and Dick Bats in this issue is just kind of like, why, dude? Why? If it's just a paycheck, I will cut you a check. Just please stop fighting me everywhere we go. Who completely dismantles Dick Bats, though, because he's in his hour of power, drinking a shot of beer every minute. Yeah! And he's gonna just totally takes out Dick Bats with ease. Elsewhere, though, Hot Girl visits Fury in her new Amazonia base city-state that she has built, who seems quite ready to just conquer the whole of the planet for herself and her Amazonians that she has been genetically manufacturing, using the DNA of the people that survived and her own Amazonian, whatever. She's making Amazons, and unfortunately, Hot Girl is like, oh crap, she's gonna attack, tries to warn everyone, and accidentally stumbles into a secret meeting between Fury and Morella, Queen of Atlantis, who is also signed on, and the two of them are going to conquer the planet together, and poor Hot Girl is kind of like, oopsie, they see me, I'm in trouble. And that's where we end. It's kind of like a intergalactic Game of Thrones with all the city-states.
Okay.
It's all of them trying to work together, and certain alliances are formed on occasion, and then they fall apart, and then, it's kind of a no-win, though, because there's nothing to really fight over. They've all come to the realization that there's no way life can be supported on this planet, and they're kind of like, well, let's fight over it. Yeah. Grr. Arg. There is a sad scene where Val Zod has decided to retire from being Superman because Martha Kent goes on TV and goes, yeah, my boy used to be Superman. Then he went evil and killed my husband and used the Washington Monument as a phallic symbol to pile drive the Capitol building. This new guy's not my son, though. Kind of sad. Kind of lonely. Meh. Wonders suck. And then Val Zod's just like, oh man, that's depressing.
Jeez.
If you remember, that is what happened, though, when Superman was resurrected by the Apocalypse troops or whatever, and went all berserker mode with what's his name? Steppenwolf.
Superman got a real bum deal on her,
Yeah,
too.
he did. Well, no, Martha Kent got the bum deal.
She got the bummest of deals.
Yeah, where she was being held hostage by her apocalyptic-powered son of doom.
Well, didn't that turn out to be a Bizarro Superman?
Yeah, it was another clone of the clone of the clone of the clone. It was the multiplicity effect where he was Xeroxed too many times, and they had the derpy Superman. Oh, Michael Keaton. You're such a wonder.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a broader story, which I think is the only way you could tell it with this many characters. So it's a lot more interesting than it was, and I'll leave it at that. I think people understand where I'm coming from with that statement. So give it a shot. Also, Tom Taylor, though, just completely screwing over the Superman mythos once more. I think I'm up next again.
Yeah.
New Suicide Squad. Sealy Squad.
Yeah.
Remember last month what happened? They went on that op in China, and then all of a sudden some super team attacked them, and they all flatlined, and Amanda Waller was like, no, I lost my team. No.
I do not recall that.
While the British guy that was trying to start a Suicide Squad was there visiting.
Oh, yes. That, okay.
All right. Well, after they, quote-unquote, flatlined in that op, Harley explains to Deadshot, Cheetah, and El Diablo what actually happened because she was contacted by coffee magnate Adam Reed, you know, the guy that's going to inherit the Reed coffee fortune, who also runs the Horus organization that...
another shadowy acronym-based government organization?
Well, less government and more private organization that tries to help the world out. It's kind of like his philanthropic organization from his Reed coffee fortune that he put together.
Is he in charge of Sundollar Coffee?
No. He's in charge of the Buddy Reed fortune. Buddy Reed Coffee Fortune.
Can't bust him.
But he wanted to bust them out so that they could actually find real redemption working to fix all of the problems in the world. And he brings them to this old World War II Nazi castle and says, hey, guys, come on. We're going to lay low here. Afterwards, we're going to get out there. We're going to do some good. It's going to be awesome. What do you say? And they're like, yeah, I think we actually could find some real redemption here. We're going to do it. But unfortunately, their liberators, quote unquote, are also there as well. The super team that flatlined them in China. And it turns out they're a bunch of swarthy Brit mercenaries by the name of Kilgore, Hellslayer, Razor, Brutus, and Deathtrap. And they're their biggest fans. They're like, oh, Deadshot, this is awesome. Oh, man, I took this job just so I can get your autograph, man. This is the best thing ever.
Are these old Wildstorm characters that they
I don't know where these guys came from. I don't think they are.
The names sound like they would be, but
yeah, I know. I don't think they've had much of a impact no matter where they've shown up before in the past. So as all of the mercs are boozing it up in this old Nazi castle in Germany and they're telling war stories to each other, Adam Reed and his second in command retreat back to their medical bay to treat his wounds and try to figure out, hey, what's our next move? What are we going to do now that we have these actual weapons on our side, these people? Which surprisingly, Adam's next move is stabbing his second in command through the gut with a scalpel.
Okay.
Not very understandable whatsoever until it makes a little bit more sense when he takes the scalpel and carves one word into his fist. The word being Kane. And it turns out that this Nazi castle is actually a headquarters for Defauster Kane.
Points.
Who have set this up as a tournament to earn points to crown their new leader. Whoever kills the most Suicide Squad members gets to lead Defauster Kane. Points. And they shut down and lock down the castle, and all of these Defauster Kane people start coming out yelling points. And they immediately shoot Deathtrap right in the head as he's like, hey, what's going on? Oi, garble, what? And then he dies. And the rest of the team all yell at Harley for getting them involved in this thing as they run for cover. It was great. It was a great time. Remember how, like, an issue or two ago where I was saying how when Amanda Waller was leading the Brit guy through and introducing him to everyone, and Harley Quinn had prescribed to herself to narrate her day and kind of do an audio blog of everything that was going on. It turned out she was doing that because she had a radio in her head that was provided by Adam Reed, so she was actually giving him coordinates of where all their next ops were going to be. So she's not as crazy as she makes herself out to be, and it gave her a little bit of redemption as, yeah, she's actually, pretty tricky. Don't count her out just because she's a goofy girl and acts crazy all the time. She's very malicious, and it was a great touch for that. Plus all of the Brits running around, and whenever Defauster Kane show up, I'm like, yay! So there you go. It's Suicide Squad versus Defauster Kane. Something you didn't know you wanted. They kept bringing up someone called Rose Tattoo, who was, I guess, a member of the Authority or something, or Stormwatch in Wildstorm.
Okay.
The spirit of murder.
Huh.
Yeah. I looked her up. She once killed a man by turning her body fluids into pure heroin, causing him to OD during sex.
Well then.
Yeah! That was like, whoa!
That sounds like a Warren Ellis thing. If
Ding!
anything. There we go.
Right on the nose.
Oh, Warren Ellis. You're so Warren Ellis.
I was still just kind of like, wow! That is a... Are you sure you're not the deity of creative deaths? Because that's pretty creative right there.
All needed was a guy with a trench coat, chain smoking behind as it was happening.
Poor Silky was just like, this is not what I am into. Next up.
Constantine the Hellblazer. Well, if you haven't put the kids to bed already, do it now. So, Constantine just double-crossed Papa Midnight and Blythe and escaped out of a side door from hell by himself into the fairy realm. And he recounts a story about how he once asked a demon what the scariest place in the multiverse or whatever was, and he shuddered and he said, oh, the fairy realm. Because unlike hell, where you know it's going to be torture and pain, the fairies have everything, and it seems like this amazing place, but they're just awful, terrible beings that only care about themselves.
There's that one that talks like Arnold Schwarzenegger all the time, and then all the other ones, and then they had a baby, and it got all like kind of crappy, and then they had a dog that they added to it, and I was like, Fairly Odd Parents, you're weird. And
okay.
No, you don't watch this? Just me, huh? Just me.
Yeah, there's something about that show that I just did not care for. It seemed a little, I don't know, like there was an episode where they made fun of how lame Charlie Brown was. I'm like, hey, don't do that.
It's true, but don't do that.
Yeah. Jeez. God forbid, hey Nickelodeon, God forbid something be nice.
Well, Charlie Brown was pretty boring.
Well, each their own, I suppose. One of those things you don't talk about. It's like, we're cooler than Calvin and Hobbes, too. It's like, be quiet, Fairly Odd Parents. No, you're not.
All right, continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail you.
Yeah. So, so they only care about themselves. They'll make you feel the greatest high of your life before they murder you. And this is all intercut with a scene of a unicorn drinking out of a lake. And then a fairy mercenary jumping out of the lake, slitting its throat, dousing himself in rainbow blood, and smearing it all over his fairy friends with said rainbow blood so they can have an underground Matrix raid.
Yeah, fairy world,
yeah.
You know.
And somewhere off in the distance, Avicii is on the main stage, just like, I did not expect this at all. Oh my goodness.
Our next song is, Dear God, keep the unicorn slayers away from me.
there's like a centaur just looming over him with a spear. So the fairy kingdom is basically just Burning Man, but with more human torturing and slightly more orgies. Neron has put out an APB for Constantine, and he gets revealed to Lady Alexandriel, the leader of the fairies. She plans on turning him in so Neron can give her some kind of other underworldly magical favor, and then she can eat his skin. If he even, like Neron, she's gonna like get the thing that she wants from Neron.
So
and
is very well just like
skin.
Hedonism
I
central or
so.
something? Okay.
I suppose that's the way to put it, yeah. So she'll murder him and eat something that was his, even if it's just his dapper suit, high in fiber, you know. John is able to trick one of her fawn underlings, whose name is Flutterby, to take him to New York before she calls Neron, so he gets home and punches out the little fawn thing. He goes to save his boyfriend Oliver, who is still tied up by Papa Midnight's rooster snake familiar, Gerald, who's actually become pretty good friends with Oliver at this point. They've had some really good conversations about the status of his current relationship, and that maybe John isn't the best guy in the world.
I think that's great.
Yeah, but Oliver's just like, he came and he saved me. I told you. It's like, I still tell you, man, Constantine, I've met him. Not the best guy. You watch yourself. You take care, Oliver. I worry about you. I worry about you.
You just give me
as
a
your
call
friend.
if anything happens. And you always have an open door here.
Yes. You're a Casa de Rooster Snake.
You can shack up in my hen house snake pit whenever you need to if you just need a couch to stay on.
Yes. So he gets Oliver back to his girls since it's his weekend to take care of them. And he tells him to go sod off so he can prevent Neron from merging the underworld with New York City and making hell great again. Timely.
A little bit, huh?
Just a little
bit.
That and Zootopia, neck and neck, I tell you. Oliver refuses to listen to Constantine to stay away from this, so he calls a babysitter to watch the girls and help John. As we learned in the last panel, the babysitter is really Blythe in disguise, and she's probably pretty pissed that John just left her to rot in hell. Oliver's kids are screwed, and basically, Constantine's big thing was, I didn't want to put your family in danger, and he's put his family in danger.
Oopsie.
Whoops. And a travel foreman drew this instead of Riley Rossmo, and I'm perfectly all right with that.
A lot of body horror.
Yeah, plus, man, let me tell you, he draws a good pixie rave.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of his Animal Man stuff was when he was doing that at the beginning of the New 52, it was basically the physical depiction of what it's like to take acid and then have a really bad trip. That was kind of like what it was reading every month. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is awesome. It's technically wonderful and beautiful in its macabre nature, but it's still just horrific at the same time.
Which is what you can ask for in a Constantine book. So.
Yeah. So well matched. Definitely well matched. I got one more book. I got one more. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for Red Hood / Arsenal?
I'm ready for this.
Okay, good. Because Jason and Roy have raided the office of CIA fixer Tara Battleworth, looking for a good
With
way.
a name like Battleworth, you've got to join the CIA.
Exactly. They're looking for a good way
Or a
to
LARPing crew.
they're trying to find a good way to spin the addition of Joker's daughter to the Rent-A-Bat company. And they're like, you work with shady politicians and have to spin info all the time. Can you just like endorse us or something with the underground mercenary groups or whatever? And she goes, yeah, I'll do that. First off, didn't I tell you never to come back to my office? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like whenever they go to the lawyer and he's just like, no, I'm not your lawyer. Get out of here. That's kind of what the scene is kind of like. But she goes, look, I agreed. I would give you guys an endorsement, but Joker's daughter has to pass a psych test before I agree to sign off on anything. So she stays behind to talk to the psychiatrist there at the CIA and just babbles crazy for half the issue. While Jason and Roy take a side job from a Navy sailor who says that Hive has infiltrated her graduating class from the academy. And they go, well, this seems like a good little side thing for us to do while she's off doing her psych eval. And they go off to the graduation ceremony for this Navy Academy on the ship itself and find that it is swarming with Hive members and there's a giant bomb in the under of the ship. And they're fighting. And finally Jason's like, Roy, you disarm the bomb. I'll fight off the Hive agents. And he's like, fight. Luckily, he's able to overcome any of their psychic attacks due to his ninja training that he received from Dukra. And it ends with Roy disarming the bomb. Let me see exactly what he says here. By disrupting the connectors by breaking the current between the two detonators. And then it cuts over to the panel of him and there's just like 5 arrows stuck into the control panel. And Jason's like, it looks like you just went berserker and stabbed him with a bunch of arrows. He goes, tomato. So yay, Team Renovat. It's a victory for them. Mission complete. They return back to find out that Tara says the psychiatrist is saying, yeah, Duella's insane. She is, out there insane. But she's at a tipping point in her life where she's either going to fall completely into the darkness or try to harness it and make herself a force for good, or at least join society in general. So where she goes from here is up to what we do. And Tara kind of holds her breath and goes, fine, I will give you guys an endorsement. And Jay's all like, yay. And Roy's like, And so they let her know, and she goes, cool, thanks, guys. She's on the cell phone. She goes, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and then immediately hangs up the phone, dives into the water, swims back down into the Undercity, and pulls up the Joker face mask and goes, oh, I'm sorry I had to leave you behind, Daddy. I just had to make them think I didn't need you. But I don't actually need you. That's the funny part, because anything you can do, I could do better. And then I have in my footnotes here, except be a compelling character and foil for my protagonist.
Yep.
I feel so bad because Joker's daughter is infinitely more tolerable than she has been in previous iterations. And that bar was set really, really low. I'm not even lying. They did, retcon out your backstory history of Joker's daughter, though.
Oh, really?
Because it turns out her face was never mangled. She's an untrustworthy narrator. Yeah. So we don't have that awesome doctor at Gotham anymore. It's just like, good enough.
Yep.
But at the same time, I just, a redemption story is going to be infinitely better than, oh, I'm Joker's daughter and I'm crazy and I snuck onto your team to cause mayhem. Not really what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is that quote unquote teetering point that they're talking about, and she ends up falling one direction instead of the other. Yeah, especially since wasn't she a hero in the Duella Dent, at least was a hero.
Depends on how you needed her to be.
In Countdown? Wasn't she running around with all of the people there and their...
Well, you're asking me about Countdown, Sean. Heck if I know.
Okay.
I just know that she would occasionally show up as like a 8th tier Teen Titan on occasion, and you weren't quite sure what she was supposed to be doing there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm hoping we swerve that way. baby face instead of heel turn. That's all I'm saying. But that's it. That's all of our books. What do you think, Brian? Pretty good week?
Pretty good week, yeah.
Yeah, not too bad at all. A lot of different types of stories, and I always like those kinds of weeks.
From Gotham Academy to Constantine.
Yeah, I mean, we had the adult fair, we had Silkies' weird fetishes, and and then the little kitty stuff, which isn't little kitty whatsoever.
Yeah.
The Gotham Academy, it's just fun, clean, cute storytelling, and nice spread, as I said. Batman Superman was a nice little surprise for a short 2-issue arc that people could hop on and be like, that was pretty fun. Detective had crazy psycho people. Batman and Robin Eternal adds Midnighter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but but as a reminder to you guys, we say it every week, go out there and buy these books. Buy what you like. Buy what you want to see stick around, whether it be tone, story, character, style, creative teams, whatever you want to support, make sure you support it, because if you don't, it goes away. I mean, it's pretty clear business at that point. If no one's buying it, they're going to scrap that idea and try something different. And you buying it may not save it, but at the very least, it sends the vote. If enough people vote with you, you never know. We've seen crazier stuff happen. So, next week we will have more books, but what do you say we talk about where else you can listen to us this week in case, you're not quite full of the Brian and Sean babbling incoherently into a microphone, for this week.
Yeah, we are going to be guesting on the DC Primetime podcast.
That's correct. If you have ever been curious about what Brian and I think of the TV shows that DC has been putting out, you can find us there this week, where we will be discussing exactly that thing. I think we actually also may be talking about Justice League War as well, since it's on Netflix, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we get to actually give our opinion on the TV shows, because scope! But it's not our show, so we can go into their scope. Yeah. And yay, it works. So now all we need is a Disney podcast to invite Brian on so he can do his thing.
Yeah.
And I need a God, what do I keep pitching?
Warhammer
40K podcast. There we go. Yeah, if I can get one of those, there we go. Then I can finally ramble about crazy things that no one cares about on this show. But definitely check us out. I'm going to put the link in the show notes, and we will, of course, post the episode on Twitter, Facebook, etc., which I guess is kind of leading me into our next bullet point. Brian, where can people find us?
The internet.
Yes, it works like that. You just type DCR podcast in. We're all over the place. We know you guys know how to use the computer. We're a DC Comics podcast named DCR Podcast. Google it. You should have an easy time. We got web pages. We got Twitter stuff and Facebooks and Tumblrs.
We're the DC radio that doesn't have pictures of Washington, D.C. on it.
No, we do not. I could change that, though. I could put the Superman phallic symbol.
The Washington Monument.
Doing the Humpty Hump with the Washington Monument. Oh, silky. So, make sure you guys go out and check that out, though, because we've been looking forward to chatting about the TV shows as well. So, Brian, you got anything before we take off? There were no Disney movies released this week, were there? Or?
No, there weren't. Well, you should still go see Zootopia if you haven't.
Okay, fair enough.
Really good.
You have anything else you want to
there was the Haunted Mansion comic that came out.
Is it like Thunder Mountain, where they made a minecart ride and dynamite and dinosaurs?
Well, there's more backstory to Haunted Mansion, so
I guess that would be easier.
Yeah, so I mean, if you enjoy the parks, or you just want something kind of spooky that's still like relatively kid friendly, there you go.
Constantine, right?
Yeah, not Constantine. My son enjoyed it. Hopefully, it does have a T in the corner, so I certainly hope it doesn't veer somewhere weird in the next few issues, because he loves the ride and he's just like, oh, awesome, more Disney stuff, cool. Oh,
that's cool. Yeah. At least they're filling their niche as well.
Yeah, as
far as things aimed towards their audience. So, and
again, possibly better ideas for movies further down the line.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess that's it. I have to practice my Manhawk screeching for the next hour before the next show. Never thought I would be talking about that, but hey, I guess until then, everyone, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we're going to talk to you then.